have the option on your computer to choose gallery view, which will allow you to see many of those here tonight, or speaker view, which will highlight the person speaking or making music. You can, of course, go back and forth between these modalities. There is an old Jewish saying, more than Israel has kept the Sabbath has kept Israel. So let us begin with Hine matov umanayim shevet amim. We're going to use the word amim, which is people, gam yachad. How good and pleasing it is for people, amim, to sit and gather together. Hine matov umanayim shevet amim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet amim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet amim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet amim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim 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 shevet amim gam yachad.
And now I would like to introduce Norisa to lead us in a prayer before prayer. Norisa?
We now prepare to unify our whole selves, heart, mind, consciousness, body, passions, in this holy community with Jewish people everywhere, with all people everywhere, with all life and being, to commune with the source of all being. May we find the words, the music, the movements that will put us in touch with the great light of the Creator. May the rungs of insight and joy that we reach in our devotion flow from one to the other and fill all our actions in the world. May the beauty of God rest upon us. May God establish the works of our hands, and may the works of our hands establish God.
Thank you so much, Norisa. And it's now time to begin our service. Please, if you choose, take a moment to gather your Shabbat candles and a glass of wine or other beverage and join the Hartzahs in the Shabbat candle lining. And then Greg will lead us in the Kiddush. And you can find this on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Bare peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, V'shabbat kodsho, ve'avav ratzon hinchilanu, Zikaron lema'aseh bereishit, Ki hu yom tehillah lemikrae kodesh, Zeher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki eleinu karata, ve'otanu kidashta, lavodatecha, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you all for your beautiful chanting.
Okay, so now we turn to page 8 for the singing of Esai-Nai.
Me'ayin yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo Ezri. Be'im Hashem Oseh Shamayim Ba'aretz Ezri. Be'im Hashem Oseh Shamayim Ba'aretz. I lift mine eyes unto the mountain, from whence cometh my help. I lift mine eyes unto the mountain, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, creator of heaven and earth. My help cometh from God, creator of heaven and earth. Me'ayin yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo Ezri. Be'im Hashem Oseh Shamayim Ba'aretz Ezri. Be'im Hashem Oseh Shamayim Ba'aretz. This is the time in our service when we create a special space to share the gratitude we feel, experience for anything in our lives and or in the world. Please remember to unmute yourself when you're speaking, and you can also use the chat.
Let me say at the outset that I'm grateful for us being here all together this evening, and for the blessings of good health, my beloved partner and co-leader, for friendship, and a lifelong love of learning.
Thank you.
I'm feeling a lot of gratitude to you, Tom and Saralie, for the way that you invite so many people to help share in leading the service. It really makes it heartfelt and meaningful, and I love it. Thank you.
And for the blessing of rain, oh yes, and for the blessing of being spending the morning with the Apache Stronghold folks. That was quite an amazing experience with the Native Americans and their fight for justice for Oak Flats and the preservation of their sacred ground.
I'm grateful for the incredible care I got going through hip surgery and having dear friends who took care of me, and the Chabad group who brought me delicious food, and being able to walk without a walker.
I'm grateful for all those who helped get the first session of Bet Safer going at our new location at 3201 Uloa Street. Rabbi Katie, Lillian, Ben Razio, Leslie Rothman, who's helping teaching, Rabbi Elisheva, who's a new teacher, and her daughter Amelia, and everyone else who has helped contribute to get it going, and to see students back together in person to learn and have fun.
I'm grateful for the in-person B'nai Mitzvot that we've been able to participate in so far and that are coming up. Those have been such a joy.
I want to express gratitude tonight for Debbie Friedman. May her memory be a blessing. It is a blessing. Whose gorgeous music permeates our service and that of countless congregations throughout our country and elsewhere tonight and on every Shabbat. And personally, I'm so grateful to be here with my dear husband, Tom, to facilitate the service.
And
I am very, very grateful for the many wonderful friends I have, and Saralie and Tom, and I see Barbara there among my very best. And thank you so much for everything.
thank you all. I would now like to introduce Corey, who will read his poem titled Memory and play one of his own music compositions. Corey.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Want to hear Corey read his poem?
Thanks for the opportunity to read this evening a poem called Memory, and then I'll play a little nigun I wrote to maybe give everyone a little time to muse about the poem, as, of course, poem is always a pretty compressed kind of thing. Memory. Never forget. Always remember. Which one is it? Does it matter? Always never forget to remember. That's the best, the spot-on answer. Trauma made flesh, my own DNA, encoded to famine, to fear, be alert. Mom's folks ran from the '06 pogroms, ducking in snowdrifts to searchlights avert. My body knows things I've never done, 99% Ashkenazi. Lingering traumas, the second great war, of famine, of murder, and yes, the pogroms. Some of the mind, some of the frame, both want voice and will be heard. Memory, dreams, and body's distrust comes in thought, feelings, and word. Dreams of driving, Lost, can't get there, roads up and down, but come to no harm. Clarinet lost, found and then gone, heart pounds, with no cause for alarm. But remember the boy who bursts from the car, leaping with joy out onto the green, Mount Shasta from Lassen, just at the top, the Bighorn, the Alp, the glaciers serene. The birth of a baby, a sweet, gentle kiss, the passion of sex, hands entwined with my love. A walk with a friend, a sweet heart to heart, the hands that remain after let go. And finally, it's death. I've seen my fair share of friends and family gone nowhere. Their trials, their courage are with me just now, keeping them close with ritual prayer. Always never forget to remember. Memory shapes as the years go on by, like my hairless scalp or wizened face, changing and shaping despite how we try.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings back memories of 5 or 6 years ago or whatever. Thank you so much, Corey. Now we're going to welcome the angels of Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem. Feel free to sing along on page 3. Just make sure that you're muted.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Baruch Hu. And now Miriam and Douglas will lead us in Yedid Nefesh that you can find on page 4 or in the chat.
Yedid nefesh av Rachman, Yedid nefesh av Rachman, Meshochav decha, Meshochav decha, El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Aya, Yishtachav El Muhadarecha, Yedid nefesh av Rachman, Yedid nefesh av Rachman, Meshochav decha, Meshochav decha, El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha.
Thank you. That was so lovely. Tonight, we will sing Lecha Dodi in a tune that we have sung once before, or maybe more than once here with you, to a tune Tom's mother, Ilse Hamburger, brought with her as she escaped Nazi Germany in 1936 at the age of 16. Her gentle humor and most sweet voice and spirit sustained her family and remains forever a part of us. Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekabela. Come, my friend, to meet the bride, to welcome the Sabbath with open arms. Please turn to page 5, and on the last verse, we rise and face east or either towards a door. Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, L'shem u'letiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekabela. Lekrat Shabbat lechu b'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila. Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala,
Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Hitoreri Kiva Orech Kumi Uri Shir Daveri Kivod Adonai Alayich Nikla Lecha Dodi Leklat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Yaminu Samo Tifrotzi Viet Adonai Tarsi Ayari Ishben Tarsi Ben Ismecha Benagila Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Boi v'shalom atet bala Gam b'simcha u'b'tzala Tov emunei am segula Boi kala Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela. Thank you, Ilsa, for this gift that will always be with us.
Please
Please
remain
remain.
standing as we join Miriam and Douglas in the Baruch, the call to prayer.
Laila, 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 Laila,
Barechu et Adonai Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Laila, 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 Laila.
Thank you so much. We can all be seated as we center ourselves and prepare for the Shema with some silence. And then following the Shema, Puck will chant the V'ahavta on page 10. Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. We are now ready to joyously sing Mi Chamocha. We experienced God's majesty when the Red Sea split before Moses and we were given safe passage through dangerous waters. We were liberated, rescued from slavery as we struggled for our freedom and offered songs of great joy. Who is like you, transcendent in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? You can find this prayer on page 11, and we will start you out by singing the la la las, and then both the call and response. When we're finished, the next person can pick up right away, beginning with la la la. And I hope that many of you are ready to follow us. Because remember, if we got through those troubled waters all that time ago, we can get through this song with zest. Mi chamocha b'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot o sefele, nora tehilot o sefele. La 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 la. La 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 Mi chamocha b'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot o sefele.
נורתי לא תוסף פלא.
Lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya 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 lai 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 mi chamocha Adonai mi chamocha negar b'kodesh Norati loro sefele, Norati loro sefele.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai,
Mi kamocha netar b'kodesh,
norati lo dosefele, norati lo dosefele.
Lai 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 mi kamocha Adonai mi kamocha negar b'kodesh Norati lo sefele, Norati lo sefele.
Let's keep going.
All right. Thank you all.
Great. We got through the Red Sea again.
Okay, so now I would like to introduce Robin, who is going to lead us in Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Robin.
13.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Thank you. It was beautiful. Salam, shalom. Okay. At this time in our service, we have the opportunity to ask for healing for members of our congregation, for other friends, family, for ourselves, and anyone and anywhere in need of healing. Carol will read the list of names given to us by the congregation as we chant the Misha Berach, the healing prayer, and you are all welcome to put the names of others in the chat who are in need of healing. You will find the prayer on page 12. Avotenu Mekor Habraha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Risheberach imotenu mikor habraha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Yisheberach avotenu mikor habraha leimotenu.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us,
help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema,
The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
At this time, I would like to invite Rabbi Meira to share some thoughts on the Torah portion for this week. Right ahead.
Thank you, Tom. I'm going to preface this by saying why was this world created? The rabbis discussed everything, and they discussed this question, and they said, well, God filled the whole universe previously, and he got lonely. And so he had to contract himself and make room for the universe because he wanted relationship. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. I'm going to read it. You've heard of people giving a drash on the Torah portion. The root of the word drash, Daled Resh Shin, is to seek. But in another sense, the word means to demand, as in demanding that the text explain itself. What do you mean here? Can you really be saying thus and such? And this is really remarkable if we understand the Torah to be the record of our ancestors' encounter with the divine. But we have an exquisite model for demanding meaning from God in our portion this week. Vayera in Genesis chapter 18, verse 1 through chapter 22, verse 24. God has decided to investigate and possibly destroy the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah because the cries of the innocent have risen up to him. He ponders, shall I hide from Abraham that which I am about to do? The next thing we know, Abraham's angel guests have left so that Abraham and God are alone together. And Abraham approaches God. Abraham inquires, will you indeed sweep away the righteous along with the wicked? Perhaps there are 50 righteous in the city. Will you indeed whisk away the city and not forgive it, even though there are 50 righteous who dwell there? But Abraham, he doesn't stop there. He modestly, quietly, persistently admonishes, forbid the idea that you would do such a thing, to destroy the innocent with the guilty. Shall not the judge of all the earth do justly? I'm asking you, is this holy chutzpah or what? Abraham is confronting God with the most difficult theological question. If God is supposed to be good and fair and able to control everything, why is it that bad things happen to good people? Theologians throughout the ages have come up with various unsatisfying answers. We have rejected the idea that God is not good or is uncaring about fairness. We even accept that God is in control of everything. There's only one exception: human free will. Everything is ordained, but free will is given. I will leave you with this conundrum, this tension that has no clear resolution. Abraham persists. When God says he will not destroy the cities for the sake of 50, Abraham asks, what about 45 or 30 or 20 or 10? Each time God concedes that he will save the cities all the way down to 10 righteous persons. Then Abraham doesn't ask anymore, and God departs. Abraham is often compared to Noah, who just obeys God and doesn't challenge God when he's told that the whole world is going to be destroyed by a flood. Yet each time Abraham is humble, inquiring, really engaged in trying to understand how God works. So what can we demand from this text about Abraham taking God to account? I think this story is trying to tell us that we truly are to be Yisrael, a people who struggle and wrestle with God. In all the instances that I have found in the Torah, when Abraham or Moses challenged God, God quickly relents. It's almost as if we humans were created to be in truth-finding conversation with God. That God grows from the interchange. It is indeed a loving, intimate, and caring relationship where we have disputes l'shem shamayim, that is, for the sake of heaven, literally meaning for the real desire to get at the deepest truth of a matter. It's not about winning an argument. The only real winner is truth. We are here to question each other, to find out how the world actually works, as there's no winning anything without a clear acknowledgement of the complex and mysterious and perplexing truth. And that sort of truth is not always calming. It demands from us patience, a tolerance for anxiety, ambiguity, and nuance. But our task is to be like Abraham, to keep up the challenge with God and our work in the world, knowing that God is asking us, shall I let them know what I'm about to do? Because God wants to hear our response. Thank you.
Yasher Koach,
Koach.
Yasher Kochacha.
Koach
Amazing.
to you.
Mm. Wow. This is the time in our service for a few minutes of silent prayer. If you know the Amidah, the silent prayer, you may wish to recite it, or you may choose to pray silently, whatever prayers are in your heart. And if you want to step away or black out the video while you continue to mute your screen, now is the time for that. We will reconvene in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, we're reconvening here after the Amidah. And as we gently move out of the silence, Pat will introduce and share a poem with us. Pat.
Yes, thank you. I just have to say one thing first, and that is, I didn't grow up in a tradition where people, the faithful, argued with God. It's a concept that's, I don't know how to deal with it, Rabbi Meira, and but I was so grateful to hear you talk about it. Thank you. So I'm going to read a short poem by Mary Oliver called Wild Geese. Wild geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Thank you. Nice prayer. It's a nice. Sorry.
Thank you, Pat. And thank you for your initial comments about God. At this time, we remember those who have passed away, who are no longer with us in the physical world. Tonight, we are marking the very recent loss and extend sympathy to Ben Rosio on the loss of his grandmother, Ruth Block, Nicole Avril and her family on the loss of her father, Fred Avril, and to Rabbi Meira on the loss of her sister, Nina Lamb. Meira would like to share some of her reflections of her sister with us.
Nina was, I have 3 older sisters and 1 younger, but I only grew up with 2 of my older sisters, Nina being one of them. She was 12 years older than me, and I had a single working mother, and so Nina took care of me a lot when I was really little, up to age 5 or 6, when she went off to college. And the last time I visited her, she was in a facility for memory impaired people. And she was really severely demented. She didn't know who I was, but she knew I was her guest. Like, I sat next to her during her exercise class, and she'd lean over and say some syllables to me with emotion. I got the emotion, but she couldn't make words anymore. And as we tend to do when things like that happen, we tend to comfort the other person. And I'm trying to think of the word, see, because I'm losing my mind now, of we patronize them a little bit. We act like we're the grown-ups and they've become children a little bit. And I went to visit her 2 days in a row when I was in LA in 2019. And the second time when it was time to leave, I knew I didn't know when I was going to be back. And I got, as if you know me at all, you know, I get teary very easily. And I started to tear up. And she put her arm around me and patted me on the back. And I remembered what it was like to be that little kid with her caring for me. And it's very wonderful for me to be able to share this with people because my sister that grew up with us has been in Europe this whole time. And my kids are taking care of their father and his wife who's had some surgery, and it's really special to be able to share this with people. Thank you. I see your hug, Joel. I see it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. So meaningful. And if anyone here is commemorating the Yortzeit or the anniversary of the death of someone dear to you, if you desire, you can unmute yourself and tell us their name and their relationship to you. You can also put it in the chat if you wish.
Yeah, I've got yard site for my mother, Janet Rudolph, 34 years since she's passed, and for my father, Leonard Rudolph, who's been 27 years.
Thank you.
This is the second yard site for my mother, Doris Lewis.
And I am still saying Kaddish for my father, Joseph Mandel, who died at the end of February of COVID.
We just lost Chester's second father, George, this weekend.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying Kaddish for my mother, Alice Hamill, who died in April.
I'm saying Kaddish for Seymour Horowitz, my longtime partners, 35 years. This is 4 years since he passed of vascular dementia.
I'm saying Kaddish for my friend Jamie Markovich, who killed himself just a few weeks ago.
I know it's hard to say. I couldn't really say it press like that, like you just did to the whole congregation. Their name.
I know you're talking.
I will now read the names of those whose Yortzeit occur during the month of October, and then we will rise for the Kaddish prayer. I have a couple of really, it's going to be hard for me to read all these names because I have a couple of really personal connections, but Elizabeth Summer, Joseph Benjamin Gavarin, Sandy Siegel, William Schulman, Sam Pinto, Rebecca Bainton, Sylvia Stein, Bruce Budnick, Roger Henry Rifkind, Leonard Rudolph, Sonny Fine, Paul Kozak, Rose Thurm, Maggie Friedland, Richard Denholtz, Elaine Janis, Don Lichtenberg, Janet Rudolph, Doris Lewis, Dirk Janstruck, Ben Olasoff, Zachary Brandstetter, Harlan James Crow Jr., and Seymour M. Horowitz. We will now rise for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Ba'alma divrach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayed kol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman karev v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbam v'barach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shnei dekudesha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tishbechata v'nechemata. Damiran v'yama v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'al kol yoshvei tevel.
Oseh shalom b'mromav.
Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'yimru amen.
You may be seated. Many thanks to all of you for being here, and special thanks to those who contributed to this service tonight, and particular thanks to Robin and Miriam for your invaluable technical assistance. It is now my pleasure to introduce our president, Matt Rudolph, who has some important announcements.
Hi, everyone. So just some upcoming things. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the UUC is the bat mitzvah of Beatrice Lawson. Please make sure that you sign up to attend if you are going to attend in person. There's a link on the newsletter. And of course, everything's on the newsletter. And that one's also live streamed. We also have another bat mitzvah on November 6th of Veronica Babcock. And same place, same time, UUC at 10 a.m., although that one will not be live streamed. The Family Tikkun Olam event has been postponed from this coming Sunday to November 7th. More details to come. This Sunday, though, we have another women's circle. These have been really popular, well attended. And this one is at Liz Isaac's home. Liz Isaac is our current membership chair on the board. It's from 2 to 4 p.m. this Sunday, and register in advance. Again, the link is on the newsletter. And there is also a rally for domestic workers at 12:30 this coming Tuesday at Civic Center Plaza. There will be folks with an Or Shalom banner and t-shirts, so look for them if you want to join them. There's other upcoming social justice opportunities, including getting out the vote effort for the Virginia election. And again, there's more information on those in the newsletter. Reminder that Bet Safer has started. Registration's still going on. It's live. So if there's any kiddos in grades 2 through 7, we're still registering them for Bet Safer. And also our Teen Hub, which is about once a month. We had the first one a week ago, the 13th, I think. So just trying to drum up some more teens for that. We also have next Friday is a Zoom Shabbat service, and it's a blessings and send off for our cantorial soloist Allison, who will be leaving Or Shalom to take on a full-time opportunity at as an education director, teacher kind of thing. So please, if you can attend that, that would be great. We also have really good news about some upcoming Shabbats. We will be holding an in-person Shabbat at our new, at least for the time being, as we have it, site at 3201 Yaloa Street, which is at the corner of 33rd Avenue. That will be on November 12th. And there'll be another one on December 10th. Again, those will be in-person Shabbats. There'll be more details to come regarding that. I'm sure there'll be a registration for those as well, just so that we're tracking everything with COVID protocols and such. Bobby Toron's final number 4 session, that the series that she's been doing, she just had one this past Thursday, but her next one is November 4th at 7 p.m. And the topic of that one is homeland songs as identity builders. Then we also have an embodied spiritual practice. This one will be in person at the 3201 Uloa Street address on November 20th, Sunday at 10 a.m. And if you're attending, bring your own yoga mat. And finally, we are going to have a Hanukkah event. It will be on Saturday, December 4th. I believe Corey and the Janberries will be playing. Is that correct, Corey? And it's going to be in person, location to be determined. We're looking at a few potential locations that can work for us and what we plan to do. I think that is it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for a fabulous roundup.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So now we're going to conclude our service with Adon Olam, singing a melody we've done with you before from the island of Jerba. So we've used melodies. We've traversed the globe from Germany to Jerba. We're going to sing the melody through for you the first time as a niggin, so you get familiarize yourself with it, get the feel, and sing along with us, although you'll be muted. So. La 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 Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'yet Nasa V'cheso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yeh B'tifara V'hu Echad V'chayeli Bilham Shilo L'chach Bira V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra V'hu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzur Cheli V'yetzara V'hu Nisi U'manosni V'nat Kosi V'yom Mikra B'yado Afki Bruchi V'yeti Shan V'ya'ira V'yimruchi V'yati Adonai Li V'lo
Shabbat Shalom.
And we invite you to unmute yourselves if you want, greet each other, schmooze together for a few minutes. So good to have you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, guys.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I have to say it was
Shabbat
wonderful
shalom.
to
Thank
see
you.
the whole Hartzell family.
Yes.
You know, even from Ohio or wherever the heck that school is. So thank you for that. I just love it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Pat.
And seeing Natasha too. So thank you, Natasha, for being with us.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
Emily. It was just so lovely to have you sign in. Where are you, Natasha? What, can we see you?
Oh, where
I'm right here.
Yeah, she's there.
Nice.
Hi, Barbara.
Yeah.
Hello, and thank you. Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
And Tom, Miriam, dear Miriam.
Yeah.
Judy and Barbara, it's so nice to see you.
Yes.
Okay. It's so good to see
You
and
too,
hear
man.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you, Saralie and Tom.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Lovely.
Yes. Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay.
Thank you. Miriam and Doug all sang together at one time.
Yeah. And we still are.
Right. What am I saying? Thank you. Julie, how are you feeling?
All right.
Thinking of you. And sorry for that loss, the terrible loss that you
Oh,
just.
your friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks to everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hmm.